Morning. Good morning. Welcome to tea time. Happy Saturday. Good morning. Good morning whenever you're watching this, because it may not be Saturday morning, but good morning and welcome. Gonna see how good we do this morning. The lighting is actually not too bad. So, guys, as you can see, I am traveling once again. I suppose that would be part of our normal now, right? Yeah, we're traveling once again. And whenever I travel, it's always an interesting process to figure out like where I'm gonna sit down and have this conversation and how I'm gonna sit down and have this conversation because I have YouTube and then I have Instagram and all kind of things. Anywho, I'm so pleased to be here to have this chat with you guys this morning. Today we're gonna be talking about all the tea because I have birthday tea. I'm This is my birthday week. I have been celebrating I've been celebrating birthday a little bit longer than usual, actually, or maybe not. Me get extra special on my birthday. I even made coffee myself this morning. So I don't know what you guys are drinking. What are you guys drinking? This is pretty good. Yeah. Mm, thank you. Yes, guys. So I'm dialing in from Canada. Okay, you're having ginger tea, D. D is having ginger tea. Yes, that's what my other partner is having also. He's having ginger tea this morning, or was. I think he's having coffee now. I'm having some kind of coffee from this coffee maker. And I was so excited, guys, because whenever I travel, I look for coffee shops. It's like one of the things that I do. I look for coffee shops to see kind of what new kind of teas I can discover or whatever. So I get on the elevator now right before tea time. So I go and go downstairs and find the cafe because they advertise at this place had a cafe. Jump on the elevator now, looking on the elevator, like the floors listing to see if I could find where the tea shop is, what floor the tea shop is on. Rotted. One man coming out the elevator and him work at the W. So I was like, oh, look, the universe literally sent somebody to tell me where I can find a tea shop. So I was like, hi, you work here? Good morning. And he says, yeah, good morning. I was like, where is the coffee shop? He's like, oh, we no longer have the coffee shop. We closed that down. He's like, but there's a Starbucks that used to be around the corner. I say, used to be around the corner. I say, yeah, unfortunately, just yesterday they closed it. So I said, so why am I telling me about the Starbucks if them closed it yesterday? Anyway, I decided I was just going to come back upstairs and sit with my coffee maker and make myself a cup of coffee. And it was so fancy. I was so glad I did. Mm. So, birthday tea, guys. The birthday was so fabulous. Can I just tell you? And it wasn't even like a milestone birthday. I guess we should consider every year a milestone, but um when I call milestone birthdays, I'm calling it like your 30s or your 35 or your 40, like those numbers, the number with the zero or the five at the end, I consider those milestones. So I'm in between the milestone birthdays right now. And so I was like, I'm gonna have a real chill birthday. But you know what? It turned out to be one of the most beautiful birthday experiences I have had. And it's not because I went to Negril and did a whole several days laying on the beach doing nothing, by the way. Like that was like the highlight, the doing nothing part. But I just felt so loved. Like, I mean, people that I haven't heard from in forever reached out and they were like, oh my gosh, happy birthday. Just messages from everywhere. And then my grandmother, who's 89, okay, my grandmother, who's 89, she calls everybody. Anytime anybody in our family has a birthday, she calls and she sings to you. So here I am on the birthday, and I'm answering messages, and here comes grandma's call. And let me tell you, I just start one piece of bawling. Grandma is singing out her heart, and I'm just bawling because it's just the sweetest thing. And I think I'm very present to the fact that she's 89. And in the moment, I was in the car when she called me. In the moment, I'm here trying to find a way to record her because I'm like, no, I need to record her singing me happy birthday because I don't know how many more birthdays she gonna be singing to me, you know? So I'm gonna have to tell somebody else in the family now that when grandma call on the birthday, you have to have a recording device so you can record her so we can have it because I don't know how I'm gonna manage that now going forward. I mean, even my kids know, she calls my kids and sings happy birthday. Furthermore, I'm coming to Canada and my grandmother, I go by her house to say goodbye to her, right? I go by her house to say bye and tell her, that we're leaving. And she was doing a church fundraiser thing. So I went to drop off some money for her for our church fundraiser. So anyway, I drop off the money, hug her and leave. And she said, wait, wait, wait. She run inside. Yes, she's still running around. Grandma run inside and come back and put, she roll up some money and slip it in my hand. When we going at the car, now 10 Canadian dollars, grandma give me. So I'm like, and no matter when I go in foreign or where I go in, you know mind shop, me tell her I say me I go London, I should come and roll up some sterling. I'm like, where grandma get Canadian dollars from? She's like, a cambio. Anyway, just to say, guys, that I have really had an amazing, loving birthday experience. And to all of you that like sent me messages and did all of the things, I just feel extraordinarily grateful and I was just so full and I wasn't doing a whole heap of excitement, I wasn't doing a whole heap of excitement until I got to Canada. So when I got to Canada, no, when I got to Canada, the group that I came here with, so I don't know if you guys saw, but there's a group of us that got selected, women in tech, that got selected to travel to Canada to represent Jamaica at this tech conference that they're having here. Hi, Mish, morning. And so I was one of the persons that was selected to come here and represent Jamaica and all of the things. And we're partnering with the DBJ, Development Bank of Jamaica, is partnering with a nonprofit here, Nobellum. And Nobellum is all about Black entrepreneurs. And they have this goal of getting money for 100 Black businesses in the next, I think it's next year it's supposed to actualize. And the CEO of Nobellum just happens to have Jamaican background. Of course, we're everywhere, right? So let me tell you guys, I come and I mean, I didn't have any expectations other than represent the country and, just go to this tech conference and talk all the things, network, big up Jamaica, show them that we have talent, all of that. And then no, them have surprise dinner planned for the delegation. So I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So we got to this really nice restaurant, Perla, right? If you guys are ever in Toronto, you definitely want to check out Perla Oyster Bar, Oyster Steakhouse and Seafood Bar or something. Just look up Perla. The vibe's so nice, especially on a Friday night. So go to Perla now, and they have this DJ. And I don't know if you guys experience this when you travel, but let me tell you something. And for those of you who haven't been traveling yet, let me tell you. No matter where in the world you go, Jamaica is just like everywhere. I mean, the reggae music, the DJ them cannot play music without playing reggae. Okay? And even if you're not getting the full 100 reggae, you're getting reggaeton. So me now, with my Jamaica flag, you best believe it, honey. I'm telling us, hey, I was up in the people them restaurant with my flag, carrying on the most. Because them was just dropping the tunes. I mean, like dance, I'm not talking. So everybody at the table is beer broke out and carrying on, going on to the point where all the ladies next door, the table next door, the ladies them get up and come and start wine and carry on. These are white ladies. I mean, I love y'all, my Caucasian ladies, but y'all, y'all ain't got the waistline like us Jamaican women. But they were showing up last night, showing up last night, really. So I was like, at 12 something when we are still at this restaurant. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be doing tea time this morning? Because I was literally on tea, no sleep. Literally. Mm. Anyway, so all of that to say, birthday week was wonderful. Grandma, I'm not going to spend your 10 Canadian dollars that you gave me. I'm using it as a bookmark so I can have it forever and ever. And yeah, good stuff, guys. So, moving right along, um, I'm going to pull a card for today. We're going to get started. Today, we're talking about something that came up for me this week. And even last night, I was talking about it. And it's faking it until you make it, and whether or not that actually works, right? So I just shuffled the deck, and the card that came up is I embody boldness. I really like this one. I embody boldness. And the intention, the affirmation on the card says, I take purpose filled action towards the things that are in my best interest and in the best interest of others, even when it may not be easy to do so. I'm going to read that again. I take purpose filled action towards the things that are in my best interest and the best interest of others, even when it may not be easy to do so. So I embody boldness. I'm going to have to share this card with my other delegation ladies. Anyway, guys, so the whole faking it till you make it thing kind of came up for me this week because I was watching an old episode of Sex and the City. And on the episode, it was the one that they were talking about where Miranda was in love with her ex. It's like her baby daddy now. She had a child with this man, still in love with him, but acting like she don't really care for him that way. Just acting like, they're co-parenting. There isn't a big deal, whatever. When really and truly her heart is like dying for this man. And she was talking to her friends about the fact that she's not going to share how she feels. She's not going to be courageous or bold enough to share how she feels. She's just going to act as though everything is normal and there's no feelings. And then there are other things that in life, we do the acting thing where maybe our careers are popping down. Like maybe we'll get a job, but we're carrying on and telling our friends that, oh, the job nice, it's great, whatever. And, we're talking to them about all these wonderful things. And the job not nice. But we feel like we have to fake it till we make it. Deep down, maybe we hope that at some point in time, the job is going to be nice. At some point in time, the lover is going to be really the lover that you want. At some point in time, you're really going to start losing the weight when the scale telling you say go in the opposite direction. So, you're faking it till you make it kind of vibe. And so I was wondering, because the way that the show kind of positioned it was like it wasn't a healthy thing to do. But when you look at all the different laws that talk about law of attraction, law of assumption, karma, law this, law that, when you look at all the different things that the nowadays, when you're hearing about the sages, and they say believe it, and you have to believe it until you see it. You kind of wonder, is there a way that you can actually fake it till you make it and it works? Where it's actually a good thing that you're doing rather than something that is ultimately going to hurt you. For example, the ultimately going to hurt you. When you're in a situation, a relationship with a person, and you actually know that the relationship is not working. Like it. Every part of your being tell you that it now work, right? And you're not getting any kind of inkling. It's not like you have an indication where over in this part of the relationship, you can see that the person is really exhibiting the qualities that you want. You don't even have one area where you can see. You find yourself making up in your mind, you're making up things to kind of justify why the relationship is gonna work. You haven't had any conversation with the person that them indicating to you, yes, I want this. I may not be showing up the way that I want. I know I can, but I do want this. I just have to work through my stuff. You're not getting that kind of talk. You're not getting no kind of responsiveness from the person to indicate that they have any interest in you. You're just kind of limping along, and you just going with the flow, so to speak, right? When that is happening, you're not feeling good about the relationship for sure. More times than not, you find yourself like, yeah, but on the inside, it not feeling right. Okay. And this actually doesn't have to be just a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship, like a friendship that you have, platonic relationship. It could be a working relationship where you're, with your boss, and or in a team, and you're waiting for the promotion, or you're waiting for something to change in the environment, and it just not gelling, and you're not seeing any indication from anywhere else that it's going to possibly gel in the future. And you're sat in that feeling, and it does not feel great, but you keep that cutting and go through and a smile and thing. When that is the case, that's when I would say I really don't believe that the faking it till you make it is working. And the primary reason is because you're kind of stuck in the pitfall of the faking it part. Okay? We've all been there, where you're putting out a front for other people, trying to make the things seem perfect, when deep down, it's far from that. Trying to see how you could maybe stretch it a little bit more, and make it work a little bit more, and you're doing all the things, you're using the language, but ultimately the feeling that you have is not one that reflects the experience that you want to have in the future. It's like there's no part of you that, no matter how courageous and bold you are, you're not seeing any indication where things could potentially be different, and therefore you truly know that the faking it not going to make it. Right? So I want you to think of, if it's not yourself, I'm sure all of us know somebody that has been in an unhappy relationship, and they're putting together this everything is fine kind of front to maintain a certain image with you, or maybe it's with the family. So what's happening here? They're using all of their energy to do the maintenance part. So they're using the energy that they should be using to dream up and to have this beautiful experience on the inside. They're using that energy to maintain the facade, instead of actually using the energy to align with what they truly desire, which is a healthy state of being, a healthy, loving relationship that they may be able to foster and create for the future. Now, if you think about the law of assumption, which is, I read about the law of assumption in one of the books by this author called Neville Goddard. So, Neville Goddard's whole thing is assuming a state in the future as though you have it today, right? So, the law of assumption says that whatever you assume to be true will ultimately manifest in your reality. So it's using assumption to make your current experience literally feel like your future that you're creating. So it's not really enough to act the part. With the law of assumption, you have to believe the part. And that is what messes up most of us, is that we're acting the part, and we use up all our energy to do the acting, but we don't actually believe whatever the action is that we're doing. We don't believe it. And so ultimately, what we keep getting is more evidence that the thing that we are acting towards, we're getting more and more evidence that it's not reality, it's not the truth, right? So, if you're trying to like attract love into your life, but deep down you don't believe that you're worthy of love, then that assumption that you're making of unworthiness is ultimately going to block you from having the love come to you. No matter how hard you act, no matter how much you put on the nice things and put on the makeup for your friends and go out there and talk all the things. But ultimately, deep down, you literally feel like you're never going to have the love that you desire, or you're never going to have the career that you desire, right? So when you think about how you are currently showing up, ask yourself the question, what area of my life right now am I faking it? What area of my life am I putting up a facade? But the facade I'm putting up is not because I know it's going to ultimately manifest, because I feel so good about it in my bones that I know that it's ultimately going to manifest. Is not that facade. This is the facade where people ask you, "Oh, so how is this and that?" And you're like, "Oh, it's great," and you literally can feel yourself having to come up with the energy to say it's great. You have to come up with the energy to say, it's working, or you have to come up with that. You have to make up something. And while you're making it up, the whole of your insides just feel like it's sucking the life out of you. That is when you're not aligning the energy that you actually want to have, the assumption energy. You're not aligning that assumption energy in your reality. You are literally succumbing to the feeling that you have, which is not one where your wishes are fulfilled, right? So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in the faking it the wrong way, because I think we all know what that looks like. Um, Another way that you can actually think about it, guys, when you're examining your life, is if you are in a situation where something has actually shown you that you need to pivot, or there's a part of your life that has been very explicit in indicating that things are not going along the direction that you want them to go, and you continue to force it, like you literally have to be using your energy to force things in a particular way. It's like pushing water upstream. That's how it feels. Then you are also in that same energy of faking it till you make it, but you're not going to make it. Sometimes we can get our wires crossed, and we believe within ourselves that if I just push hard enough and keep talking about the thing hard enough and keep telling everybody the thing hard enough, then eventually it will happen. But that's not the way it works, because as we've talked about here, energy is such a huge component of that. And I'll give you an example from my own life, right? I think in this space of media and doing the work around like intention and mindfulness, the transform your mind space, that space for me has always been one of passion, and not one where I've ever really felt confident about making money from it. You see, when it comes to my tech life, like that whole side of my business that is about transforming your business and using technology, and just talking about that side of my life, like that side of my life, I don't have any worry or concern about making bank. Like, I know that I'm gonna make the bag one way, shape, or the other, no matter what it looks like. I don't have any concern about it. I just feel like the money going to rain one way or the other. If I have to go get a job, if I have to stop doing this entrepreneur thing, I just feel like the money going to rain. It's like even now, I step into this space where I've decided to do a tech startup. Like literally this year, right? I've decided I'm going to do the tech startup. Okay. Yes, I know tech. I know tech, guys. I'm not going to pretend that I don't understand what tech is and how to build a platform, because that's what I've been doing, but I've been doing it for other people. I've been helping other people with their tech stuff. But you see, this year I said, okay, I'm going to stop running from this thing, and I'm going to build my own tech. And actually, last night, Somebody said to me, I don't know why it took you so long, because you already know what you're doing and you're so aggressive and you get it done. And why you never just build your own platform from a long time? So fine, I surrendered to it. I said, I'm gonna do this thing. And guys, I can tell you categorically, it's gonna cost me a couple $100,000 to build, just to start. I don't know where I getting that money from, but you best believe me done make up my mind, say I am going to move boldly towards the thing that I'm doing for myself and the companies I'm going to solve this problem for. I'm going to fake it until I make it. Okay? And I am fully, when I say I'm fully sold out, say the platform I'm going to build and I'm going to market it, I'm going to sell it before it even finish build, right? So in that space of work, I have zero doubt I can fake it till I make it, and I know that I'm going to make it because the energy that I have around creating wealth and making bank, carrying home every single bag in that space, there isn't any gap in that energy. I mean, even talking to you guys about it, I literally feel like money flowing into my hands. I don't know where it going to come from, right? So in that area, it's great. But you see, when it comes to the area of like my cards, like guys, I mean, these cards are so magical. I mean, everybody that has a deck, then tell me how magical the cards are. My journal over there, so by the side of the bed. My journal, every time I show the journal to somebody or give it to somebody, they're like, oh, this is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. People come to me and talk to me about tea time all the while, just randomly. They come and they say, oh my gosh, Stacy, I love your tea time. Please don't stop. Do it, do it. You see, the moment I start to think about making money, and I tried, guys, I did. Like, I would be like sat there thinking about the strategy and the content, this and the funnel and the this and the marketing. And people would tell me, you need to go make money from that thing, man. You're so good at it. Every single time I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fail. Epic fail. Epic fail, guys. I have not in any way, shape, or form made any profit, barely revenues, no profit from any of the stuff I've done in the space of mindfulness. And I know categorically it is because no matter how much I try to fake it, be like, yeah, man, I can make a living and da 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 da, lip service, because inside, I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about it. It's just the truth. And sometimes in our minds, we won't just face that reality. We won't really just say to ourselves, what is stopping you? And it is, I don't believe that I am at a point where I can. And it's not because 100 people haven't told me, yes, you can. I don't need nobody to tell me. You don't need anybody to tell you. You have to believe it for yourself. You have to have the energy that you can put behind the law of assumption that says you can do it. Let me tell you something. I know I am talented. I don't need nobody to tell me I'm talented. I know I'm talented. This is my zone of genius. Me coming on here and talking to you guys about mind transformation and just really sharing from my heart and sharing the stories. Like, this is my zone of genius. I love this stuff. I actually do not have to get paid for it because I love it. And you will hear all the stories out there of, get paid for your passion and all of the rest of the things. But at the end of the day, if you do not have that energy that you can sit with, that allows you to see yourself receiving the accolades and the money and the bag and the whatever it is for that passion space, it's not going to happen. And I am okay with knowing that. I am okay with knowing that. No. Catch me 5 years ago, a beer suffering I put myself through. I try to make it happen. No, I'm not in that no more. No. When the time is right and my mind and my heart and everything line up and I don't feel any kind of way about making a bag of money from being sat here talking to y'all, then it'll happen and it'll be fine and it'll be great when it does. Until such time, I will continue to build the tech. I will continue to speak on the stage and wherever I already know that I can talk the talk and tell my friends the things and do the fake it till I make it. And it will happen because I have the energy and the belief that it is going to flow to me. No, here's the thing. If you have something in your life that you believe you are ready to transition, if you think you have an area of your life that you are ready to apply this law of assumption to, that states whatever you assume to be true will manifest in your reality because you believe the part, then I'm going to explain to you how you can actually make it work, right? I'm going to share with you the right way to fake it until you make it because it's all about aligning your beliefs with your actions. So, in the space that I'm in now with my career, I'm doing that right now. And I did it in the love space. I did the same thing where I aligned my beliefs with my actions. And I'm going to tell you how I did it. Okay. So with Neville Goddard, the approach that you have to take is you have to imagine, literally like daydreaming, guys, you are already the person you want to become. So you want to focus on feeling like that person. This means you have to actually embody the emotions. You have to embody the confidence of someone who has already achieved that desire. Not only that, it doesn't stop there. The way you have to imagine it is as though it has already happened. So you have to imagine it after the fact, right? So it's not like you're thinking about I've landed this career, or I've raised, I'm going to get a loan to start my business, or I'm going to get funding to start my business, and you're thinking about going to the bank to ask for the loan. No, you have to think about what happens after you've already gotten the loan. So if you know that your thing is you have somebody that is like your pari, and every single time something good happens, you pick up the phone and you call that person. If that is your modus operandi, then what you are responsible for doing now is you are responsible for imagining the phone call you would have after you get the money. And you have to imagine it in a way where you can literally see yourself already smiling and you can feel it inside. And it's not hard to do when it's a situation that you already have an example of. For example, like for me, I call my sister for certain things. Like, if it's something good I'm expecting to happen in my relationship, I will call my sister. I'll be like, girl, so the thing we that talk about so and so happen, and boom bam, me get what me don't want to forget, right? So what I will do is, for example, if I am imagining, if I am desiring to be engaged, right? See, I don't have a ring on this finger right now. Okay, okay. If I'm desiring that I want to be engaged, all right, let's use that example. I'm desiring I want to be engaged. Okay, I am not going to imagine the engagement happening. No, I am going to imagine the phone call that I'm going to make to my sister right after the ring done upon the finger. I'm going to be like, girl, guess what? Video call. You see the hardware? Like, I'm going to imagine that conversation. I'm going to imagine. And when you think about things like that, you actually can start to feel the feeling. And that's the point. You are going after the feeling that you'll have when the thing you assumed to have occurred has occurred. Right? You have to be like engaging in an interaction that you're going to do after you've achieved something. So for me right now, in the space of raising funds, right? In the space of raising money, I'm like thinking to myself, all right, what do I need to imagine? So I haven't actually figured that part out yet. I haven't figured that part out yet. I did imagine a couple of things to get me into the accelerator. So the accelerator program that I'm in now is one that is actually supposed to help me build out my platform. So I actually imagined myself telling my director, one of my directors, that I got into the program and him congratulating me. So I imagined that. I imagined being in Canada for this boot camp trip, for this trip that I got selected for by the DBJ. I imagined it. I imagined being in Canada at the conference. I imagined it. I imagined it wasn't even like something that was an exciting imagination thing. It was me actually thinking about walking up and down in the conference halls and bumping into people and thinking to myself, oh gosh, those conference halls are always so busy, right? So that's what you have to do, guys. You have to, first and foremost, get your mind into the state of believing that it can happen and then thinking of an action that you would be taking after it has happened, not the thing happening itself, but after the thing don't happen, you get where you want, you imagine yourself thinking about that and you feel the feeling of it, and you just do that over and over and over. You just keep doing that. It's not a one time thing and you just put it down and it's like, okay, that's it. No, you just keep daydreaming. You know what is true, guys? Sometimes we think that daydreaming is like for kids. When you were a kid, you used to daydream all the time. As a matter of fact, I see my niece right now. Like she's really great at daydreaming and making believe and playing, you know. Um, she does it all the time. And we play with her. We daydream with her. And we play with her. We play Dolly House. We play kitchen. We play all this stuff with her. Okay? And I see us do that. But when it comes to designing our lives, it's like we feel like, oh, I'm too old for that now. I'm too old for daydream. Well, can I tell you that me dash for my age papers, because it's bare daydreaming I am doing. This law of assumption stuff works. And I realize that one of the reasons why a lot of times we get into a frustration place with our lives and achieving the things we want is because we're just thinking about the doing part and we feel like we have to press and push. But when we were kids, we weren't pressing and pushing, we were dreaming. That's what we spent most of our time doing. Just a daydream. No, when you think about daydreaming, all you do is worry about your bills, you worry about your kids, you worry about your grades, and you spend so much time with your thoughts taking you down that path that you just keep getting what you're getting and you're not changing anything. Just sit with that. Sit with thinking about what are you spending your time thinking about? What are you spending your time, like over and over, just mulling over in your head? You think about how much time your mind takes you on these long journeys, and the journeys are not dreaming up what you actually want. You're just going over and over and over and over all the different things that you have to fix or that you have to run and go do. If you use some of that thinking energy and put it towards what you actually want to achieve, you would be surprised at how quickly your life starts to change. One of the biggest mistakes people make is focusing too much on the external situation. And so it's very hard for us to process, let me assume my life is different. But if you can apply this particular principle that I'm telling you guys, you will be able to start to make the small shifts in your life. One after the other, you just start to make the shifts. Okay? So if you remember, right? I'm going to give you the formula now. If you remember, there's a formula for assuming your life as you want it to be. So you really are faking it till you make it, but you're faking it in the way that it works, not in the way that it's not going to work. Okay? So here's a formula. First things first, you're going to have to start out by knowing exactly what it is that you want. So that's the first thing. Because some of us will just complain about what we don't want. We don't really clear on what we want. So that's the first thing I have to do. I keep asking myself, what do I want? Whenever I find myself in my head complaining, like if I complain about my helper, which is something I do. If I complain about my helper, or complaining about my chef, or complaining about my kids, or complaining about something, when I find myself in my head complaining, I just stop myself and ask, what do you want, Stacey? And I just keep asking myself that every time the complaint pop up, I ask myself, what do you want? What do you want? Right? So the other day I was having some challenges with one of my old helpers, and I just kept doing that. And eventually I came up with figuring out what I wanted, because I realized I was stuck in complaining and not saying what I wanted. So that's the first thing you have to do. You have to say what you want. Okay? Figure it out, guys. Figure it out. If you don't figure it out, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So figure out what you want first. Once you figure out what you want, right? Then you're going to start saying, yeah, but I can have that. Start believing that you can have what you want. And we're going to reinforce that belief factor, right? Because after you start thinking about what you want, then you're going to say to yourself, how would I know that I have gotten what I want? How would I know that I've gotten what I want? So for me, with the helper example, I had an old helper that was so good. Let's say her name is Gloria. So I had an old helper that was so good. She had to migrate. And then I went on this search, and it was just helper after helper after helper, right? But Gloria was magic. Gloria washed my clothes just right. She ironed my things just right. She organized my clothes by color. She was magic. I was like, oh my God. So when I realized, okay, I want somebody that's like Gloria, I said, no, you know what? I want somebody better than Gloria. And the way that I conceptualized, I said, okay, that's what I want. I thought of myself having a conversation now with, like, my mother, where I'd say, boy, mommy, so she better than Gloria. Ah, you see me? Okay, I see what you're saying. Please save this section of the live, the step-by-step process. Okay, Miss Rosie. I will save this section of the live. So that's what I did, guys. So I first of all had to figure out what I wanted, right? Once I figured out what I wanted, then it was, what am I going to think about that will help me to know I already have what I want? And once I captured the thought of what would be happening, the action that would be happening after I got what I want, then I would use that in my daydream moments. So in the morning when I wake up, I would think about, oh my gosh, this is one of the days where I'm going to get closer to getting somebody better than Miss Gloria. Whenever I would have a little break and I'd be taking a walk, or I take a 5-minute meditation, my meditation, I'd be thinking about the conversation with my mother about getting somebody better than Miss Gloria. And I would just do that on repeat. I would just do that on repeat over and over again. And ultimately, I have to operate from the place as though the outcome is already mine. So I have to assume success. So when I would be in the house and I would see where I take out a shirt and it have another brown spot on it because the helper that was ironing, she pressed the iron a little bit too long. And so the brown spot, they're right here, so with the iron shape, I would say, okay, start feeling upset. I say, oh no, man, it's okay. Because the lady that's better than Miss Gloria soon come. You see how you can use that, guys? It's like for you now, if it is that you are interested in a better love partner and you're currently going out on dates and the date them now work, you kind of say, it's all right, man. The good up lover soon come. It's okay. You never want to pay the bill, that's okay. The one that going to pay all the bills soon come. Like, I mean, you just have to start to assume success. Okay? And then just stop letting go of people and things around you that you think need to validate what you are assuming for yourself. Stop talking to people that telling you that you can't have what you want. Stop spending time with individuals who are going to negate what you are assuming for your life. Let go of the need to get validated by anybody else but yourself, because a lot of times what will happen is when you're not seeing what you are going after coming to fruition, you start talk to people about it and expect them to validate your dreams. You cannot expect your dream validation from nobody outside of yourself. That don't make no sense. If you want to talk to somebody, come talk to me, DM me, because me I go validate your dream for you, right? Sometimes people that love us to death, guys, they cannot see the dream that you have. Them things that you're wasting time because it's not theirs to validate. It's not for them thing for validate. You are the sole person to validate and congratulate yourself on creating the life that you want. If you are the person that is assuming your success, why would you look for somebody else to validate the success that you are trying to achieve? Them can't help you. Talk to people if you must, if you feel you must, right? Because some of us can't hold the tongue. I'm like that. I can't, I just can't help it. I understand it. It's not your fault. Talk to people that you know are going to validate your assumption. They will all meditate with you. They will say, what you meditating on right now? Yeah? All right. And then we'll go say, and they'll meditate with you towards your outcome. Those are the people that you want to talk to. But if you can, don't talk to nobody. Just go and dream boy your thing and just go and walk towards it whenever things come up that don't feel like it or don't look like it. Yeah. You just hold on to that thought, hold on to that dream yourself. All right, guys? So remember that faking it is about becoming aligned with what you desire, not pretending. Faking it is becoming aligned with what you desire, not pretending. Okay? The moment that you align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with the reality that you want, that's when you're going to see your desires start to manifest. And what's really cool about it, guys, is that when you start to get into the habit of it, it starts to happen faster. This whole thing with coming to Canada for this experience, I mean, it literally happened in less than 2 months. It was like maybe 5 weeks. It was like them open the competition, I enter the competition, and then I just decided to say, yeah, we're going to Canada. I assumed I was going to Canada. I literally said to my partner, hey, I'm going to Canada. I started, people were trying to schedule me for meetings. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to be in Canada during that time. Like, I mean, I was literally saying stuff like that. I'm going to be in Canada at that time because I assumed success. Now, the part when we never figure out which was the money part, we never assume success about our money part. So I forgot start work on that another time here. And, check me back in a few weeks. I'll tell you if it worked or not. I have to figure out what, I know I want money. Like, I mean, I can tell you that. I know I want money. It's not that. It's just I have to figure out what am I going to dream up that would say I've already gotten the money. That's the part I have to work on. Okay. So if you guys are intending something for yourself, then my request to you is for you to practice this. Practice this with me over the next couple of weeks. Practice this and come back and report. Thoughts first, then emotions, then actions equal success. Exactly, Lance. Exactly. All right. And what we talked about today, guys, was faking it till you make it using the law of assumption. Okay. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. I'm going to go now and go find breakfast somewhere, get myself ready for the day. I have lots of activities to get prepped for this conference. It was so great talking with you. Thanks so much for joining. I'll see you next week. I'll still be here in Canada. I'll see you next week on another episode of Tea Time with the Balanced Lady Boss. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great Saturday and a great week. Take care.